The air, thick with the scent of pine and damp earth, hung heavy over the woodland. The forest, ancient and serene, seemed to hold its breath as if aware of the disturbance that lay ahead. Each tree, with its gnarled roots and towering branches, stood as a silent sentinel, guarding the secrets of the earth. The morning mist clung to the underbrush, weaving through the ferns and moss-covered stones, creating an ethereal landscape that felt both timeless and fragile. Sunlight, fractured by the canopy, painted shifting patterns on the forest floor. The interplay of light and shadow created a dance of luminescence, a fleeting beauty that seemed to whisper of the forest's ancient tales. Each beam of light that pierced the canopy was a reminder of the world above, a world that seemed so distant from the quietude of the woodland floor. The forest was alive with the sounds of rustling leaves and the distant calls of birds, a symphony of nature that had played for millennia. A lone logger, his face weathered by time and toil, paused in his work. His hands, calloused and strong, gripped the handle of his axe, a tool that had seen countless trees felled. He was a man of the forest, his life intertwined with the rhythms of nature. Yet today something felt different. There was an unease in the air, a tension that he couldn't quite place. He wiped the sweat from his brow and looked around, his eyes scanning the familiar landscape for the source of his disquiet. He stared, disbelieving, at the chasm that had been unearthed. It was as if the earth itself had opened up, revealing a hidden wound that had festered beneath the surface. The logger's heart raced as he took in the sight before him, a gaping maw that seemed to defy explanation. He had walked these woods for years, knew every tree and trail, yet this rift was something entirely new, something that spoke of forces beyond his understanding. Where once ancient oaks had stood, now yawned a void of impenetrable darkness. The trees, with their deep roots and towering canopies, had been a symbol of stability and life. Now they were gone, replaced by a chasm that seemed to swallow the very essence of the forest. The logger felt a pang of loss, a sorrow for the trees that had stood for centuries, only to be erased in an instant. The void was a stark reminder of nature's fragility, a testament to the power of the forces that lay beneath the surface. The earth had been rent asunder, split by a scar that stretched as far as the eye could see. It was a wound upon the landscape, a gash of raw earth and shattered stone that spoke of unimaginable forces at work. The logger could feel the power that had created this rift, a force that was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. He wondered what could have caused such destruction, what event could have unleashed such energy. The scar was a reminder of the earth's volatility, a symbol of the ever-present danger that lay beneath the surface. It was a wound upon the landscape, a gash of raw earth and shattered stone that spoke of unimaginable forces at work. The logger could see the layers of earth exposed by the rift, each layer telling a story of the planet's history. The stones, once hidden deep beneath the surface, now lay bare, a testament to the power that had torn them from their resting place. The logger felt a sense of reverence for the forces that had created this scar, a respect for the raw power of nature. A chill wind, rising from the depths, whispered through the trees, carrying with it the scent of ozone and a low, persistent hum. The wind seemed to carry the voices of the past, a reminder of the ancient forces that had shaped the land. The logger shivered as the wind brushed against his skin, a cold reminder of the power that lay beneath the surface. The hum grew louder, a vibration that seemed to resonate with the very core of the earth. It was a sound that spoke of ancient energies, a reminder of the forces that had shaped the planet. The logger, his heart pounding in his chest, cautiously approached the edge. Each step felt heavy, as if the earth itself was resisting his advance. He could feel the ground beneath his feet, the solid earth that had always been a source of stability, now felt uncertain and fragile. The chasm loomed before him, a dark void that seemed to swallow the light. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for what lay ahead. The edge of the rift was a threshold, a boundary between the known and the unknown. He peered into the abyss, but the darkness held its secrets close. The depths seemed to go on forever, a void that defied comprehension. The logger felt a sense of vertigo as he looked into the chasm, a feeling of being drawn into the darkness. He could see nothing, only the impenetrable blackness that seemed to absorb all light. The abyss was a mystery, a riddle that begged to be solved, yet resisted all attempts at understanding. The logger felt a sense of awe and fear, a respect for the unknown that lay before him. He could hear the wind whistling far below, and the faint hum grew louder, vibrating through his bones. The sound was both eerie and mesmerizing, a reminder of the forces at work beneath the surface. The logger felt the vibration resonate within him, a connection to the earth that was both profound and unsettling. The wind carried with it the scent of ozone, a sharp metallic smell that spoke of energy and power. The logger felt a sense of foreboding, a feeling that something ancient and powerful was stirring beneath the surface. Fear, cold and sharp, gripped him. It was a primal fear, a recognition of the danger that lay before him. The logger's instinct screamed at him to turn back, to leave the chasm and return to the safety of the forest. Yet he couldn't move, couldn't tear his eyes away from the abyss. The fear was a reminder of his own mortality, a recognition of the power that lay beyond his control. The logger felt a sense of vulnerability, a realization that he was but a small part of a much larger world. He knew with a certainty that defied reason that he stood upon the threshold of something ancient and terrible. The chasm was a gateway, a portal to a world that lay beyond his understanding. The logger felt a sense of awe and dread, a recognition of the power that lay before him. He knew that he was standing at the edge of a mystery, a riddle that had no easy answers. The chasm was a reminder of the ancient forces that had shaped the earth, a testament to the power that lay beneath the surface. The logger took a deep breath, steeling himself for what lay ahead, knowing that he was about to embark on a journey into the unknown. News of the discovery spread like wildfire, carried on the wind to the nearby village and beyond. It spoke of a chasm miles long and impossibly deep, appearing overnight in the heart of the ancient woodland. Whispers of strange lights and eerie sounds emanating from the abyss spread fear and fascination in equal measure. Among those drawn to the mystery were a small group of scientists and adventurers. Dr. Eleanor Vance, a renowned geologist, her face etched with years of research and discovery, felt a thrill course through her veins. This was no ordinary geological formation. This was something else entirely, something ancient, something alien. Professor Edward Bellingham, a man of science and reason, scoffed at the rumors of strange lights and sounds, yet even he could not deny the sheer improbability of the rift's existence. The laws of nature had been defied, twisted into something strange and unsettling. As he gazed into the abyss, he felt a shiver run down his spine. What secrets lay hidden in its depths? Dr. Vance, her eyes gleaming with scientific curiosity, set about examining the rift with methodical precision. She had spent years in the field, her expertise honed by countless expeditions to some of the most remote and challenging terrains on Earth. Each rock, each layer, each formation told a story, and she was a master at deciphering these ancient tales. Today, however, the story seemed different, more enigmatic, and far more complex than anything she had encountered before. Her geologist's hammer, usually employed to chip away at the secrets of ancient rock formations, felt woefully inadequate against the sheer scale of the chasm before her. The chasm stretched endlessly, its depths shrouded in darkness, and its walls lined with rock formations that defied conventional geological understanding. She had always relied on her hammer to reveal the hidden truths within the rocks, but now it seemed like a mere toy against the vastness of the unknown. The rock strata, twisted and contorted into unnatural shapes, spoke of forces beyond human comprehension. These formations were unlike anything documented in geological records. They seemed to have been subjected to immense pressures and forces, twisting and warping them into bizarre shapes that defied logic. It was as if the earth itself had been twisted and torn apart by some unimaginable power. She collected samples of the strange, luminescent minerals she found clinging to the edges of the rift. These minerals emitted a soft, eerie glow, casting an otherworldly light on the surrounding rocks. They were unlike any minerals she had encountered before, their luminescence hinting at some unknown energy source. Carefully she placed them into her sample bag, knowing that they could hold the key to understanding the mysteries of the rift. They hummed faintly in her hand, radiating an unnatural warmth. The sensation was both fascinating and unsettling, as if the minerals were alive with some hidden energy. She could feel the faint vibrations through her gloves, a constant reminder of the unknown forces at play within the rift. It was a hum that seemed to resonate with the very core of her being, stirring a sense of awe and trepidation. Her instruments, designed to measure the Earth's magnetic fields and seismic activity, spun wildly, their needles dancing erratically. The readings were off the charts, indicating disturbances that were far beyond the norm. It was as if the rift was a focal point of immense energy, disrupting the natural order of things. The erratic behavior of the instruments only added to the sense of unease, suggesting that something extraordinary was at work. Whatever lay at the heart of the rift, it was disrupting the very fabric of reality. The chasm seemed to pulse with a life of its own, its depths hiding secrets that defied human understanding. It was a place where the normal rules of physics and geology no longer applied, a place where the boundaries between reality and the unknown blurred. Dr. Vance could feel the weight of the mystery pressing down on her, a tangible presence that seemed to watch her every move. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the clearing, the team set up camp a safe distance from the edge. The fading light painted the landscape in hues of orange and gold, creating a stark contrast with the dark, foreboding chasm. The team worked efficiently, their movements practiced and precise, but there was an undercurrent of tension in the air. They all felt it, the sense that they were on the brink of discovering something monumental, something that could change their understanding of the world. The hum from the rift intensified, throbbing in the air like a heartbeat. It was a constant rhythmic pulse that seemed to synchronize with the very essence of the land. The glow from the luminescent minerals grew brighter, casting an eerie light that danced on the edges of the chasm. It was as if the rift was alive, a living entity with a heartbeat and a pulse drawing them closer with its mysterious allure. Dr. Vance, her face illuminated by the flickering light of the campfire, felt a sense of foreboding settle over her. The warmth of the fire did little to dispel the chill that had settled in her bones. She stared into the flames, lost in thought, her mind racing with questions and possibilities. What was the source of the rift's power? What secrets did it hold? And most importantly, what dangers lurked within its depths? The answers seemed just out of reach, tantalizingly close, yet frustratingly elusive. The rift was more than just a geological anomaly. It was a doorway, a gateway to something beyond their understanding, a portal to another realm. The very thought sent shivers down her spine. She had always believed in the power of science to explain the mysteries of the world, but this was something different. It was a challenge to everything she knew, a test of her courage and her resolve. And something, she feared, was waiting on the other side, a presence, a force, something that defied explanation. It was a feeling that gnawed at her, a sense of impending doom that she couldn't shake. The rift was a mystery, a puzzle that demanded to be solved, but it was also a warning, a reminder that some doors, once opened, can never be closed. As she stood at the edge of the chasm, staring into the abyss, she knew that their journey had only just begun. The true test lay ahead, in the depths of the unknown. The following morning, under a sky heavy with unspoken dread, the team prepared to descend into the rift. The forest was eerily silent, the usual chorus of birds and insects conspicuously absent. It was as if nature itself was holding its breath, aware of the perilous journey about to unfold. The mist clung to the trees, wrapping around them like ghostly tendrils, adding to the sense of foreboding that hung in the air. They had assembled a makeshift platform suspended by thick ropes that would lower them into the abyss. The platform creaked ominously as it was tested, each groan of the wood echoing the team's collective anxiety. The ropes, though sturdy, seemed fragile against the enormity of the task ahead. Every knot, every pulley was scrutinized, for there would be no second chances once they began their descent. Professor Bellingham, his face pale but resolute, checked and rechecked their equipment. His hands trembled slightly, betraying the calm facade he tried to maintain. Each piece of gear was essential, each tool a lifeline in the unknown depths. He knew that any oversight could spell disaster for the entire team. The weight of responsibility bore down on him, but he pushed through, driven by a mixture of fear and scientific curiosity. The descent was slow, agonizingly so. The platform inched downward, the ropes straining under the weight. Every creak and groan of the wood seemed amplified in the oppressive silence. The team members exchanged nervous glances, their faces illuminated by the dim light filtering down from above. The darkness below seemed to swallow the light, creating an abyss that felt both infinite and suffocating. The air grew colder, damper, as they descended deeper into the earth. The temperature drop was palpable, each breath producing a visible puff of mist. The dampness seeped into their clothes, chilling them to the bone. The forest above seemed like a distant memory, replaced by the oppressive, claustrophobic atmosphere of the rift. The deeper they went, the more the air seemed to press in on them, as if the earth itself was reluctant to let them pass. The walls of the rift, slick with moisture, pressed in on them, threatening to crush them in their grip. The narrow confines forced them to huddle together, their movements restricted. The rock walls glistened with moisture, reflecting the faint light from their headlamps. Each drop of water that fell seemed to echo endlessly, a constant reminder of the weight of the earth above them. The sense of being trapped, of being at the mercy of the ancient rock, was overwhelming. The faint hum had grown into a deafening roar, vibrating through their bones, rattling their teeth. It was as if the earth itself was alive, its heartbeat a relentless, thunderous pulse. The noise was disorienting, making it difficult to think, to focus. The vibrations shook the platform, adding to the team's growing sense of unease. They clung to the ropes, their knuckles white, as the roar seemed to penetrate their very souls. A sense of claustrophobia, of utter isolation from the world above, descended upon them. The darkness was absolute, the only light coming from their headlamps, which seemed pitifully inadequate against the vastness of the abyss. The walls of the rift seemed to close in on them, the space growing tighter with each passing moment. The feeling of being cut off from the world, of being swallowed by the earth, was almost too much to bear. As they descended deeper, the walls of the rift began to glow with an eerie internal light. The glow was faint at first, a mere suggestion of luminescence, but as they continued downward it grew stronger, casting strange, shifting shadows on the rock walls. The light was otherworldly, unlike anything they had ever seen. It seemed to pulse with a life of its own, adding to the surreal, dreamlike quality of their descent. Strange symbols etched into the rock flickered past, their meaning lost to time and human understanding. The symbols were intricate, their lines and curves suggesting a language long forgotten. Each symbol seemed to tell a story, a fragment of a history that had been buried for millennia. The team could only guess at their meaning, their minds racing with possibilities. The sense of stepping into the unknown, of uncovering secrets that had been hidden for eons, was exhilarating and terrifying in equal measure. The air grew thick with the scent of ozone, making their lungs burn with each breath. The smell was sharp, almost metallic, and it seemed to cling to their throats. Breathing became a conscious effort, each inhalation a struggle. The dense air added to the sense of suffocation, of being trapped in an alien environment. The team members exchanged worried glances, their faces pale and drawn in the eerie light. Dr. Vance, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and fascination, knew that they were venturing into a realm beyond human ken. Her heart pounded in her chest, a mix of adrenaline and terror. She could feel the weight of history, of the unknown, pressing down on her. The realization that they were stepping into a place untouched by human hands, a place that defied understanding, was both thrilling and terrifying. She knew that whatever they found here would change their lives forever, and possibly the world as well.